Yeah, so like I said, I don't have a lot of recent poems. I will be reading some older poems, maybe something recent from last year before my brain shut down. But I was sifting through some of the poetry that I wanted to choose for today, and I came across this really, really old poem actually, and I thought I would read it. It's not published anywhere. It's called World Cup Gaza, and I actually wrote it back in 2014, July 20. The World Cup was in Brazil. All eyes were on the World Cup. Everybody was watching, but also not watching what was happening, of course, in Gaza. It's a shorter poem. A soccer ball is kicked across the sky. A rocket shoots across the field. A crowd cheers. A man runs and runs towards the goal, runs and runs towards the morgue. A crowd cheers. A woman paints her face, the colors, the flag. This is my team. A child paints her face, half skin, half blood. A man twists his ankle and disappears into rubble. Another loses both legs and falls to the green. A crowd cheers. A mother dies. A child, a flag, her face. This is my team. I'm going to, the next poem I'm going to share is called Khalij Times #1. I grew up in Abu Dhabi. Between Beirut and Abu Dhabi, my teenage years were in Abu Dhabi, and Khalij Times is also the name of a newspaper in the UAE. And this will be forthcoming in the Common. The war drove us out and into my father's white sedan. A school drop-off I'd hoped none of the other kids would notice. Their engines a roar of paid drivers. Everyone was from somewhere else. Even the locals we called Lawakil, even if they were someone we could never be. Summer months went on for years. This is a city, we were told, and we almost believed it. This is how sand becomes gold, we were taught, and we almost envied it. And every December around Christmas, we turn the chiller all the way up and pretend it was winter. This was my brother's idea, to hide under the covers and wait for the gifts. My next poem is called First. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I'm still recovering from COVID. So I'm still like kind of a long hauler, trying to catch my breathing. I'll get there eventually. Next poem is called First Poem at 40. I wrote this when obviously I turned 40 and I had moved all the way back to the US after being away for 10 years. And this is found in Guernica magazine. Everything expires, even salt. Even if we won't admit it, even if it never expires. I moved back to America, not forward like I thought I would. I live out of a suitcase at someone else's house. I make a nightstand out of a box of diapers from Costco. I don't watch TV. I don't have an affair. I replace sugar with sugar and bread with bread. I make peace with my waste. I get my period. I say enough, the cigarettes, the grass, the midnight, I'm asleep by then. I learn how to breathe at dawn. I move back to America and keep my mouth shut for so long, I forget how it feels to speak. All the seas in my countries are filled with women in wetsuits. All of a sudden, Allah. We crawl back to God and make a hyphen out of it. I open my mouth to say something, I close it again, no God but God. I put my two filthy hands together and say, Amen. We enter the world swimming. The first howl, our mothers. The first murder, our fathers. The first hunger, the question of death. We remember our limbs. We attend our first funeral, the sea we slept in vanished, the sea we planned parched, we are now ourselves, the sea. I spend my life in departure and return, my belly pregnant with the weight of maps. No matter how far we come, women are divided into mothers and non-mothers. Men divided into mothers and non-mothers. Mothers divided into mothers and non-mothers. Non-mothers expire more quickly, more slowly, like salt, even if we won't admit it, even if it never expires. Just gonna have some water. Sorry. All right. This is a more recent poem that actually just got picked up by Silk Road Review. It's called Savage. And here's how it goes. If I tell you we eat the livers and brains of sheep, you might look at me like I am savage. And I might look at you like maybe you are right. I could push the envelope and tell you we also eat the liver raw, uncooked. The aftertaste of metal with a sprinkle of salt is what keeps our children strong. We make feasts out of these for breakfast. Our land is filled with barley and grass. Our land is filled with sheep and goats and cows and us. We are taught to cut the barley and the sheep. We eat, we smoke, we never trade the secrets of our secret recipes. We eat intestines, stuff them with rice and beef. We eat hooves, bone marrow, balls, and tongues. We eat whole tongues too, just not the way you do. I have two poems I'm going to be sharing before I completely lose it. My breathing, I mean. I hope that's okay. We still have time. All right. This poem is for Lebanon. I wrote it a few years back when I lived in Lebanon and was heartbroken by Lebanon even before all the continuous tragedy. Oh, that is Lebanon right now. It's called What We Will Tell, and it's published in Natural Bridge Journal. And it's really about, I mean, I guess I wrote it for the upcoming generations. We'll tell them we tried. We told stories and wrote poems and were sometimes ignored. We filled the classrooms with manifestos and sex. We filled the classrooms with questions. We'll tell them we rode buses from the villages all the way to the city and back. We burned candles in church and then we burned down the church. We'll tell them we did not want to believe in the holy stories that we were fed, that we had needles pushed into our uterus and breast, how even once was enough. We'll tell them we did not mean to keep the ones in power in power. We'll tell them about power outages, the leaving of water, the shifting sun, and all the wrong colors. We'll tell them there was war here once, and then again, there was war. We'll tell them we ate too much and spent too much and considered the street beggar with the drug child on her chest invisible. We'll tell them how we became invisible, how we told on each other, how we stayed up some nights because we did not believe the moon would ever come back. We'll tell them we believed in the muscle of the moon and the ebb and flow of lives. We'll tell them we lied, stole from each other, never forgave forgiveness. We'll tell them how we hated food, processed it, threw it up, and sometimes we ate it. We'll tell them there was once a word and that word was home, but we did not know what it meant, so we left it behind to burn. We watched it on the news and remembered its light, its infinite forest where trees were and weren't, where the scent of Yasmin reminded us of the hands of our mothers and the leaving of grass. We'll tell them about grass and how we were forced instead to learn the language of concrete and billboards and deserts and the absence of birds. We'll tell them about birds and a thick song of departure stuck in our throat, how these birds took us from one country to another. We'll tell them about countries and how we needed papers to visit. We'll try to explain permission. We will try to explain permission. And how sometimes we got it, sometimes we didn't. We'll say we did not all deserve the passage. We'll tell them how we pulled off our limbs and folded our bones and drowned them in the red womb of water to get there. We'll explain water, how it came down in threads from the thick blue attic and how it spread as a river. We will try to explain river and we will fail. And the last poem I have to share for today is called The Last Day on Earth, which feels very fitting during the times that we are living. And that's being optimistic. I'm kidding. We have to joke, don't we? The Last Day on Earth is published in Prairie Schooner. The last day on Earth will be quick. Sorry, let me do that again. The last day on Earth will be short. It will be quick. The car engines will suck back their toxic fumes. The shepherds will put down their sticks. The phones will ring all at once, and then all at once will stop ringing and no one will pick up. Everyone will be sitting on something, a flat rock, dirty pavement, the edge of a ruffled bed. Everyone will be looking to their left. The kitchens will smell of burned sage and the soldiers will forget their green sleeves and the wide broken fields. The field will cover the dead with daisies and the desert will turn into a single grain of salt. Everyone will be thirsty. A child will switch off the TV. A river will remember itself. A mother will run outside on younger feet and lovers will call their lovers to the window to show them how all the barbed wires have turned into threads of wind. Everyone will be looking at what's left. And you and I might talk again on the last day on Earth. You might still have something to say to me. You might still want to show me how much I was wrong. Thank you.